Hey guys, and welcome to the Requester45 YouTube channel. I'm your host, Requester45, and today I have for you a Tier 7 game in the Amagi Japanese battleship. So I want to start out by kind of letting you guys know how I have this ship decked out while this game loads in and while we get off to the start. So this ship I have is not fully equipped yet. We've only got about half of the equipment that this ship can have, and the final upgrade that we're waiting on is the health upgrade. So you are watching a Amagi battleship that does not have its full health potential. However, I do have Takagi Takeo, the commander of this amazing ship, and his, ability that he automatically has is called Phoenix. It gives a plus 3% hit point restoration for your repair party consumables. I'll break down kind of the rest of the way that I have him decked out, as well as the ship. That way you guys have a better understanding while the beginning of this game gets off to start here. So I have Takagi fitted really for more accuracy on this Amagi. The Amagi, if you know anything about it, is rather inaccurate, right? And this is because it actually has the highest firepower of any of the current battleships in the game. So I have Takagi equipped out with flammable cannoneer, which makes the ship more accurate, but it makes me more susceptible to fire damage, or to being set on fire. I've got the gyrating drill bits, which really that doesn't really have any effect on the accuracy, but it is a really good perk, especially in comparison to the other perk that you can select, or skill that you can select, which I don't know off the top of my head. I would have to go back and look, but that is it's useful either way. I have marksmanship, which, as it sounds, makes the ship more accurate in general. And then I have reaching out XXL, which extends my range. And if I'm not mistaken, the gyrating drill bits, I believe that increases your turret traverse. I don't know. I would have to go look. Either way. So that's how we have Takagi equipped, and of course we have a few other. We have his inspirations that I added accuracy to the main guns of the battleship, as well as adding, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, maybe it was two different accuracies. Either way, I would have to look. Sorry, but this ship, needless to say, is as accurate as it can get in the game at the current state. The ship itself, while its survivability is lower than that of the Vanguard or Iowa, and this is due to the armor profile, its artillery is the best, and it is the best by quite a bit, especially when you equip the proper skills and inspirations to add damage to your standard shell type. And I believe that gyrating drill bits does help with that. It does add some it does add a higher damage to your standard AP shells. The maneuverability of this ship, however, is actually not as good as the Vanguard. However, it is better than the Iowa, but only slightly. And then its concealment is the worst for a Tier 7 battleship in the game. So now that you kind of have an understanding of this specific ship and the commander that I have on it, you'll have a better understanding of what plays out in this match. So as you can see, I'm kind of trying to play the center of the map, and I do this for several reasons. So first of all, you don't obviously want to play the center of the map and be surrounded by the entire enemy team and be able to be shot at by multiple parties on multiple sides of your ship. But as you'll see, I'm playing towards the center, but distancing myself from one side of the map, but not as much as to not be able to react to something that needs to happen, okay? So by playing this part of the map, I'm allowing myself the opportunity to move to any part of the map I need to whenever I need to, essentially, right? So I like to do this in just about every game I play. It depends really, I guess, on what ship I'm playing, where I'm spawning, things like that. But typically, if I'm in a big ship, I'm playing towards the center of the map. So here, I've decided that we're going to hang out on this cap circle for a bit. We're going to get ourselves some shots in on what we can reach, and this King George looks like he's within my range. So at this point, we've fired quite a bit of shells, and we've already done about 37,500 damage. Now we've taken about 10,000 damage in total after using 2 repair party consumables. So we've managed to already have an impact in this game, and hitting that King George just now for a nice significant amount is certainly going to help. So you'll see I pop a repair party consumable here, but I'm going to focus on this King George, and I'm going to keep my armor, it's not as angled as it could be, but I'm thinking I need to just take this thing out. So I'm going to give full broadside as I'm going to take this shot here, and you'll see I do another significant amount of damage. So it looks like what we're doing is we're putting about 10 to 12,000 damage on this King George per salvo. At this point, you can also see that each team has lost 3 ships, including a destroyer. And I'm also making sure that I keep an eye on the 2 enemy destroyers and their last knowns, trying to distance myself in the meantime. So here we pick up our first kill of the game, get a Citadel hit, and we're already up to 70,000 damage. I quickly notice that we're losing A, and I know that there's likely a destroyer there, as his profile was last seen on the cusp of that base. And I know that with the teams being so even at this point, each having lost 4 ships, and we only have a 30-point difference and lead on the enemy team, and we're quickly losing A, I realize something's going to have to give. My team looks like they could potentially be capping D soon, possibly C, and so I decide maybe it'll be best to just defend this area. So I focused in on the enemy Iowa, and quickly a Benson is spotted. Now how he became spotted, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe he had fired or something like that, but I assume that he has just launched torpedoes at me. So we're going to quickly angle as hard as we can to try to avoid these torpedoes. Luckily he was spotted, because had he not been spotted, I likely would have never turned my ship. I likely would have kept broadside and tried to hit the Iowa. So right here, we're going to try to shoot at the Benson a little bit, at least. And we do hit him. And there goes the torps right by us. So lucky for us, he had to have made some kind of mistake to get spotted, and it really worked out in our favor. I believe our friendly cruiser there actually spotted him for us. I don't think we spotted him on our own. I think he was still within or outside of the range that he needed to be. So we're going to refocus on this Iowa as the destroyer is quickly running. Now you'll see me aiming a bit high here, and you may, if you don't quite know what it is that I'm doing here, let me explain. So knowing the Iowa, knowing how its armor operates, its turret's armor is actually relatively weak. Even if you don't get a Citadel hit on the ship, if you're hitting and pinning the turrets of this ship, you're going to do quite a bit of damage. And by quite a bit, I mean anywhere between, with this ship, you can hit between 4,000 and higher. But we do manage to get a Citadel hit. We've actually been managing to put quite a few secondary hits on these targets, and we're already up to 113,000 damage, roughly, a little bit over. We've only got 2 Citadel hits. We've got 1 kill, and it's 4v4. I've got 44,000 health left, but no repair party consumables. I won't have a spotter plane for another minute and 50 seconds. And so we're just going to keep focusing on this Iowa. So you'll see again, I'm aiming at the turrets, and we're doing some damage. Not quite as bit as we would hope to with this ship, but we're doing damage nonetheless. And the good thing is, he's not really paying attention to me, and we know where the destroyer is. So I have plenty of space between me and this destroyer to kind of guess as to where about the torpedoes are. So I start moving, and you'll notice as well, I'm kind of erratically moving, right? I'll move forward, I'll move backward, I'll move back forward, I'll stop for a minute. And so this movement helps me to be able to dodge these torpedoes that I need to. Now, I'm losing health, and a big part of it is this destroyer that's hiding in the smoke now. But we're going to continue to focus on this Iowa. I know we've got to get him out of the game. If we have any hope of winning, we've got to remove him. You also notice that we capped another objective, so we're back to even. Now, by back to even, they're still winning by a little bit, but it's because of the way that the point system works in destroying ships and losing ships on your team. Now we quickly change our focus to the Colorado as we've lost sight on the Iowa, and you'll see I just kind of open fire here on the Colorado. We're burning, which really isn't good, right? At this point, there's nothing I can do. I've used my repair. I use the island to quickly stop as to throw off any shells in the air or torpedoes. And we're going to keep firing at this Colorado. Now, unfortunately, without any more repair party consumables, we're down to the health we have, which, after taking that hit, puts us to under 10,000. So at this point, every salvo is going to count. We're up to 148,000 damage. We've only got one kill, however. I know we've got to start picking some stuff up here. I refocus to the Iowa, knowing that he's a little bit of a bigger threat to me. He's not quite turning his turrets to me yet, and we're just going to start launching as these guns get reloaded. We're trying to hit those front turrets, or at least close to. We manage to get a Citadel hit on him, and we sink him. That puts us up to 168,000 damage with 2 kills. Now the Colorado, you'll see here, I'm trying to focus on him while I'm being hit by the destroyer. Colorado gets Citadel'd. He's dead. I turn the destroyer. Here he is. He's gonna kill me. He just keeps hitting me with HE. I gotta turn my guns. This is where turret traverse comes in handy. But I don't have it. And I fire. And he kills me, but I kill him. What a game, guys. What a game. This game has showcased for you the Amagi at its finest, the firepower it has, the pure firepower, even without citadeling a ship. We only managed 3 citadels, but we still made 171,000 damage. We picked up 2 medals, including a high cal and a Confederate, even sinking 3 ships. So we'll go over to the team result here so you can kind of see where we place in terms of XP earned. This wasn't a bad game. We actually managed to make some money in a Tier 7 battleship. And here we are, placed at the top by quite a bit. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please tune in next week when I post another video on this channel. It's much appreciated. Smash that like button if you liked the video, and please comment below.